All right, we did SeaWorld yesterday, and now Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, to see which does Christmas better. We'll find out.
Stay tuned.
The Coaster Family Feud visited SeaWorld San Antonio and Six Flags Fiesta, Texas to see which park does Christmas the best. We will rank the shows, the decorations, the food, open attractions, the Jesus factor, and on total Christmas immersion. We first visited SeaWorld on a fairly light Monday before Christmas and Fiesta the following day.
Let's start with the shows. Both parks have many Christmas-themed shows. SeaWorld San Antonio's O Wondrous Night has a neat take on the Nativity story, telling from the perspective of animals that were at the birth of Jesus. It featured a mishmash of carols that were sung by a talented cast, some of which handled puppets, and most of which helped reset the props of the scenes. In the end, a trio of real camels, multiple goats, and a donkey came out to the delight of the audience. Fiesta Texas put on their perennial favorite, The Majesty of Christmas, in incredible fashion. This also featured a great group of singers and actors that culminated with wise men coming in on a camel and angels flying through the air. In the end, I appreciated Six Flags Fiesta Texas show more despite the creativity of the SeaWorld story. Other than the biggest show, both had numerous groups that performed really well, from the mariachis at SeaWorld to the Tinkerbells dancers at Fiesta Texas. SeaWorld had the Sesame Street Christmas Parade, which is great for the kids, but Fiesta counters that with their version of A Christmas Carol at Rockville High. Altogether, I would say that Fiesta Texas is in the lead by winning on the shows.
Next, let's look at the decorations. Both parks had many lights throughout, with SeaWorld touting the most lights in Texas. SeaWorld had area after area with lights matching the area they were in. There was the front of the park with red and white lights and blow-ups of the Coca-Cola polar bears. You go around towards the Orca show and the lights turn a beautiful blue and white. Past that, you get to the Texas Stingray and it begins to transition again. You go through their dazzling tunnel of lights, which is set to music, and everyone was stopping to take pictures or dance to the music. In this Texas-styled section, on cue, music would play and snow would fall. Passing the Great White, there was a wall of lights leading you to the Wave Breaker, which had an elf show and scenes from the animated Rudolph, with pics available to be taken with costumed characters from the show. Further around, you hit Candy Cane Lane with beautiful pinks and blues that carry towards the sea lions and otters. Overall, there seemed to be not any area devoid of lights and quality decorations.
Fiesta had their fair share of areas with lots of lights and quality decorations, especially near the entrance, which was actually more impressive when you saw it from via the boomerang or other rides above. Two other great areas were Rockville, where the big Christmas tree was, and they also had an occasional snow flurries and light show there. Also heading from the entrance towards the steampunk section, which had row of candy canes and matching lights. However, there were some noticeable gaps between the sections. Moving from Rockville into the DC area was disappointing, with hardly anything to decorate the area. Their light tunnel did not compare to SeaWorld's, but the decor picked up again with the dancing waters and projections on the quarry wall. Also, riding on the train, you could see many very cheap-looking displays that personally lessened the experience. I give round 2 to SeaWorld.
As far as holiday fare available for the eating, they both had their fair share of delicious choices. From s'mores and hot chocolate to their other holiday drinks and such, they both had seasonal offerings that differed from their normal operations. The overall experience was similar, and I grade it a 10. Next up is the open attractions. At SeaWorld, one noticeable closure was that of the Batman on Great White. However, the water ride Journey to Atlantis was open. At Fiesta, The one ride that we hadn't ridden, the brand new Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster, was not open to our grave disappointment. I give it a tie between the two parks. Since it is Christmas, let's also consider the Jesus factor. How well did they show the true meaning of Christmas? Starting with the shows. Both of their biggest productions talked about the first Noel, or Christmas. But Fiesta was truly inspiring with their focus on the serious aspects of the Nativity and its importance. The secondary shows of either were more about togetherness and helping others, which should be a byproduct of people understanding the true meaning of Christmas, but pretty much left out the story of Jesus. Both parks played a great slate of holiday music and Jesus-centered tunes as you were walking around to keep you in a great frame of mind. Lastly, I never saw a nativity display at Fiesta, Texas, but there was one fairly prominent one at SeaWorld, which I appreciated. Due to the great show at Fiesta, Texas, I give the Jesus factor to Fiesta, Texas. Lastly is total Christmas immersion. From music, shows, decorations, and all, which park did you feel you were never out of the Christmas experience? And for that, I had to give it to SeaWorld. Before we give our final call, a distant third place goes to Six Flags Over Texas in terms of decorations and immersion. They were definitely lacking. However, we love their new Christmas show with all the live band and great singers. We look forward to Six Flags Over Texas upping the game in the years to come. Okay, in our judgment, the San Antonio park that does Christmas the best is...
I'm gonna go with SeaWorld.
Probably Fiesta, Texas.
I have to say SeaWorld.
I'm going to say Fiesta.
It's a tie! Thanks for joining us at Coaster Family Feud, and we'll see you next time.